After 3 years of hard work, engineers and architects in Abu Dhabi had built the structure of a building which was not possible in any way. This was the structure of the Capital Gate building, which was built on the special request of Abu Dhabi's Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan because the weight of millions of tons of this building was tilted only on one side. Due to this, the engineers were worried that if even a little weight was increased by calculation, then this structure of the building could collapse in a moment. The difficulties faced by the construction team to reach here were probably not faced by even the construction team of Burj Khalifa, because the design of Capital Gate was such a design which was very close to breaking the laws of physics. At that time, when the building was ready for launch, a message came to the construction team from the Khalifa of Abu Dhabi, in which he said that he needed a helipad on the top of this building even today. This message fell like a mountain on the construction team because the load of the building was already at its extreme limit. Neither was there any space left for a helipad, nor was the design of the building giving permission for this, and neither did the engineers have the courage to refuse the sheikh. So now only one solution was left, that the helipad should be made possible in any case, but the issue was how to build it. Once again, welcome to Chili Crunch Channel. Capital Gate in Abu Dhabi is the only building in the world which is not so tall, but it has shaken the role of architecture. This 524 feet tall building has more weight than the ordered building leaning to one side, but this is not due to any mistake. Rather, it was its design, because the tilt of Capital Gate is 5 times more than the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. Due to this, it has also got the Guinness Book of World Record. But after all, what was the need for the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi to build such a dangerous building? There is a race going on in the world to build unique structures one after the other. In this, only the one who will build the most different and most difficult structure will win. To participate in the race and to attract tourism from all over the world, Abu Dhabi's Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan also entered the field in 2007. His target was not to build the tallest building, but he had to build a building whose design would be seen by people from all over the world, which would not take much time to build, and which would also challenge the physics notes. To fulfill this purpose, Khalifa appointed his cousin Sheikh Sultan. As soon as he got this task, Sheikh Sultan took the initiative from London's top architecture firm RMJM, and this was the first step to build this building. How the engineers and workers accomplished this dangerous challenge, how this building was tilted at exactly 18 degrees, and how this building weighing millions of tons was saved from falling, you will be able to know all this in today's video. When this toss was given to challenge #1 London-based architecture firm, this was his biggest challenge. He had to make such a design which was against the architecture roles made by him. Many designs of the architecture firm were rejected at first, but then to make this design, he was given the biggest challenge. He took inspiration from the beautiful sand dunes and sea waves present in the desert of Abu Dhabi, and now it was the turn to give shape to this beautiful creation of nature. Concept architect Neil van der Veen day and night to present a design which had the shape of a sea wave, and its bottom was like sand dunes, and the view of the fielding changes completely when viewed from every angle. Challenge number 2, this design was liked a lot by the 6th place, but there was one issue in it. Yes, to make the design of the Capital Gate relative, extraordinary engineering was needed, because according to the design, the top of the building was 108 feet away from its bottom, and due to which immense forces would be generated, and the foundation of the building would be uprooted from the ground itself. So now it was a challenge for the construction team that they had to prepare such a foundation which could easily bear the weight of lakhs of tons of the inclined side. To accomplish this challenge, the project architect Tony Archibald started the work of making the foundation. 400 concrete piles was used in the foundation of the Capital Gate. It was decided to use piles, that is, the entire building was to be laid on thick iron pipes and concrete filled inside them. But this was not a normal foundation. 200 piles were placed on the foundation under the site where the building would tilt, while the length of the piles on the other side was kept longer, which were inserted into the large stones present inside the ground. The engineers thought that in this way the load of the foundation would be completely distributed, and the only challenge of making the foundation. Challenge number 3. The design of the Capital Gate was also ready, and now the engineer had also prepared a plan for an extraordinary foundation to distribute the load of the Leaning Tower. Now it was time to start the foundation work. For this foundation, digging was required on a very large level and about 9,600 tons of soil had to be removed from the ground, that is, the weight of the soil removed from the ground to lay the foundation was to be equal to the weight of 1,600 elephants. Months were required to complete this work, but suddenly another issue arose. Yes, on this occasion Sheikh Sultan issued a deadline for this building because exactly after 2 years, the Future Energy Summit was to be held in Abu Dhabi. That is why Khalifa wanted the building to be completed before this energy summit. That is, now the engineers had only 24 months in which they had to lay the foundation, build the building, and also complete the interior work. As soon as this challenge was received, there was a panic in the entire construction team, due to which they had to change the entire construction time frame. That is, the foundation for which 8 months of time was requested was completed in just 3 months by working day and night because there was no other option. Challenge number 4 was as soon as the foundation dried completely, the construction team once again came into the field. Now their challenge was to start the construction of the tower, but here they had to face another challenge. Normal skyscrapers are made of a solid core which goes straight up, but in the case of Capitol Gate, if the core is made, then due to the inclination, a core can bend to one side, which can have very dangerous consequences. To deal with this issue, the engineers had to work away from traditional thinking, for which it was planned that the course of the Capitol structure will not be made straight but curved, and after the completion of the core, the remaining part of the building will be fitted around it. Therefore, now the work of the Capitol core had to be started as soon as possible so that the work could be completed before the deadline. Challenge number 5. To make this special type of core, surprisingly, steel worth 2 crore 15 lakhs and cement concrete worth 3 crore 60 lakhs were to be used. But now another issue arose that in the scorching heat of Abu Dhabi, the temperature reaches up to 50 degrees centigrade during the day, so if the concrete is poured in this heat, it will freeze before time. There was a risk that cracks could form in the core. Therefore, now the construction team had to think of a solution that would make the concrete dry as soon as the concrete was poured. Ultimately, it was thought that the water that would be poured while making the concrete would not be of normal temperature but cold water, and the time when the concrete would be poured would not be daytime but nighttime, when the temperature would reach 30 degrees centigrade. To accomplish this task, ice would be brought from the factory, which would be melted and mixed with cement and paper as cold water to make a concrete mixer. In about 150 nights, i.e. 5 months, the curved core of the Capitol Gate was completed. Challenge No. 6. A world-class structure was being built in the center of Abu Dhabi, more than half of which was already completed, but the real challenge was yet to come. Yes, the construction team had given a slightly curved shape to the core, but now it was the turn of the actual tilt of the building, for which diagrid technology had to be used, in which a frame made of iron was to be bent in small parts by placing the core in the building. A total of 720 large iron frames were to be made, but due to the shape of the building, each frame had to be designed separately, i.e. a total of 720 iron frames. The weight of each frame, 16,000 kg, and each frame shape would be different from each other. To complete this work, a steel manufacturing company of Sharjah was given the challenge because each frame shape was different from each other. That is why it took them 5 months to complete all 720 frames. Challenge number 7. Finally, as a result of the tireless hard work of the workers, the Capitol Gate was completed, and the work of installing window panes was also going on. Only minor works were left in the building, which had to be completed before the deadline given by Sheikh Sultan. The building was now very close to completion when suddenly a message came from the office of the Khalifa of Abu Dhabi, in which he demanded a helipad on the top of the Capitol Gate. This message fell like a mountain on the construction team because everything from the foundation to the diagrid had been completed, and the entire load of the Capitol Gate was calculated earlier. Know that the weight of the helipad and the helicopter was not included while designing it. This issue is related to the Capitol Gate. This proved to be the biggest issue that arose during the construction of the building. So now finishing's work was stopped, and once again all the structural calculations were done. After the calculations, it was concluded that the structure will bear the weight of the helipad. But the design of the structure is such that in strong winds, the helicopter can crush the pride of landing on the building. But this helipad was built in any case because this was the Sheikh's request. For this purpose, the model of the capital was wind tunnel tested in London, in which it was proved that landing of the helicopter on the building in strong winds would not be free from danger. The wind engineer Leighton Aurelius suggested that if changes are made in the design of the helipad and the height of the helipad is reduced by 2 meters, then this issue can be reduced to a great extent. When the design of the helipad was changed in the model, then surprisingly the wind engineer's suggestion proved to be true. As soon as this news was received, the construction of the helipad was started at the Capitol Gate, and the building was handed over to Sheikh Sultan before time. Salute to the construction team and workers who have built the world's tallest leaning tower with their ability. Thank you so much, friends. See you in the next amazing video.